Okay, now I want to talk about symptoms. And these symptoms are not medical. They're not a medical problem. The medical community thinks they can fix these, but they don't. And matter of fact, they cause more problems in your health. Now, first, like I say, in your 40s, right around 40, you start having aches and pains, but they're not real bad, but you start having them. In my world, you're not supposed to have any aches and pains. Aches and pains are a symptom by themselves. They tell you that something's not right. And so that's why when I do my Hoi Chi, I find all these aches and pains and explain to you why you have them. But like I say, so you start getting them at 40. At 50, you can't ignore it anymore. And then that's normally the time when people go to the doctor, and then after they go to the doctor, they get sicker, they find more things get worse, whatever. And then they start looking for alternatives. And the biggest is taking responsibility for yourself. And that is normally when I get people. When they're ready, they're tired of letting the medical people hurt them and experiment on them, and they want to take control of their own life. Kind of like being self-reliant. That's one of the fields in self-reliant, is taking care of yourself. And that usually happens right around 50. And if you haven't figured this stuff out by 60, normally I can't help you. I can relieve some of the symptoms, but you're not going to make the changes needed to keep those symptoms from going away. Now I want to talk about those symptoms. Okay, like I say, first, aches and pains. Aches and pains are because of toxins. And these toxins, like you hit your elbow. When you hit your elbow and it swells and you push on it, it hurts. Okay, that fluid is what makes it swells. Okay, and that fluid coming around there is, the reason you have that fluid is it's taking the toxins. So where it got hit, it hurt it. And like I say, toxins are coming out. The fluids come around there and pick up these toxins. Now you got to get the fluids out. That's what they say. Bring the swelling down. If you're going to heal, you have to bring the swelling down. So anytime you have aches and pains, you have swelling. The nerves are throughout your body. And when the swelling comes out, that's a nerve. And the swelling, the water gets around there, that puts pressure on that nerve. And then when you push on it, it hurts. Or you don't have to push on it, it hurts. It's pressure on the nerve. It's swelling. And so, and that's what I'm saying, your back hurts, you have swelling. You need to be concerned about the swelling. Not be concerned about what, well, there's a problem here, let's fix it. No, the problem is there's swelling, there's toxins. Why is there toxins? And that's what you need to be working on, is the toxins. Okay, so that's aches and pains. That includes arthritis. There's another one where they feel aches and pains all over their body. A lot of women have that. Phenomenologia or something like that. Okay, it's a symptom. It's just the same thing. You're holding water. Many times, especially women know, they can tell that they're holding water. And so, and holding water is a symptom, and it's not a medical symptom. So, these are all symptoms that you have control of. You just need to make a plan and go for it. Start taking care of it. Okay. Another thing is, like I say, aches and pains, backache, stiffness, all of these, any kind of aches and pains like that is, like I say, it's toxins, swelling. Okay, when you have an ache and a pain, like, oh, I get an ache and a pain, over here. Okay, well, that's your liver over here and your kidney over here, and they swell also. And when they swell, they're holding toxins, and they hurt when they swell. That's why when you poke it, it hurts. And sometimes, like I say, when it's bad, it hurts already without poking. And these are symptoms that can be taken care of. I can take care of those things. Some more symptoms that could be energy related and not medical would be like asthma, breathing problems. If your body is overwhelmed with toxins, then breathing could become a problem. So that is another thing. And so you can't really go by age. Because now what is toxins? It's probably going to be, if it's a young person and they get asthma, is probably in their diet, along with what they're breathing. One thing that I've come across a lot of is the fungus that's in the air. That right there will cause a lot of problems. But if it's something that's bad in the way of breathing, then everybody will pretty much have the same problem. But if only you are having that problem, or a loved one, their body is probably overwhelmed with other toxins, and the air-based stuff is just adding to their toxins. And adding to the toxins and making their breathing more difficult. And it'd be the same thing when you don't have the oxygen. You're not going to have the stuff that your body needs to do the healing, and so that could be troublesome. Why wait until you have asthma, and especially when you get it really bad, But there's things you can do before it gets going, and it's cancer. Cancer is another thing. That's a symptom. And I say, when they try to treat it as a problem, and then it ends up they add more toxins to the body, and the cancer is an overload of toxins already. So that's why I believe by staying healthy, you're going to avoid this type of stuff. All these diseases and weird stuff that comes up. Now there are exceptions, but I say in general, a lot of them, if you are healthy, you're going to avoid it. You're going to avoid the problem. Now you're going to suffer some because your body still has to go through the toxins of that airborne disease or whatever kind of disease it is. But like I say, you will be able to get through it if you've got a healthy body. So the idea is to try to stay healthy, and then you won't have to worry about trying to fight off whatever kind of weird thing you're going to pick up, because you won't pick up anything. It'll just be, you'll notice you're not as strong as you were, and then so you get your rest, you change your diet, you clean those toxins out, you'll get your strength back up. That's called working on your immune system. And talking about the immune system, immune system will improve. When you have a bad immune system, you need to check why you have a bad immune system. Now my wife, they said she was diagnosed with lupus or something like that, and what it ended up being, she had an infected tooth. And so she had so much infection going on in her body from the tooth, any kind of little cut or any kind of little thing that she had wouldn't heal. And that was because she was overwhelmed with the infection. And all they did is just kept giving her antibiotics. And then once she went to the dentist and he fixed the tooth, then Lucas was, taken care of. So in other words, you have to watch out. When the medical people try to tell you you have a medical problem, the chances are you don't. The chances are. I try to, that's why I don't ask people what's wrong with them before I work on somebody with my Hoi Chi. because they believe what somebody told them. And I don't care what you believe. I'm just going to tell you how your body is working. I'm going to tell you what it is that I'm finding. And you will believe it because I will explain why this ache or pain is showing up. And especially when I poke it with my finger, and why is it hurting there? I can move a 1/4 inch over and it doesn't. So as I explain all this stuff and you learn and understand, then you figure out, like I say, 90% of all the stuff that's wrong with most people is a symptom. And so the way I look at it, you eliminate the symptoms and you will be left with the cause. So, and then the cause, more than likely, will be something that you have control of. The cause is more than likely something that you have done to yourself in your lifestyle, something you eat, drink, or breathe. Take responsibility for the cause, and that's what I do, is help you find the cause. When women will achoo and get a little bit of leakage in their urine. Men will have a swollen prostate. Also on men, they say you shake it more than once, you're playing with it. Well, not really. You have another problem, the same like the women. And you're getting leakage, the same thing. And what that is caused from is a twisted pelvis. And this twisted pelvis, your pelvis is like that. And then what happens, it'll get like that. And when it changes like that, your whole part of your body right there shifts. And when that happens, it'll misalign your hips. And so when your hips are out of line, well, then they'll hurt. And people say, well, it doesn't hurt that bad. Well, it's okay. Wait long enough and it'll hurt worse. It shouldn't be hurting at all. And that is a symptom of a twisted pelvis. And when the pelvis gets twisted, it pinches a nerve in the bladder. And that's why the women sneeze and they get the leakage. And the same thing, it pinches the nerve in the bladder. You're unable to release, to flush out all those toxins. What you do is just kind of dribble out. And it's the same thing with men on their urine. When men were young, we'd stand next to each other and see who could piss the furthest. And now we've been civilized, so we stand over a pot, and it's just like we're draining oil. I mean, it's just the pee just kind of runs out. There's no pressure, so we don't know when this thing is twisted and it's pinching that nerve. And so that's why we don't have the control like we should in our urine. And all this is because of the twisted pelvis. And what holds the pelvis is cartilage. Cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. This is what holds the whole body together. And what we talk about in the kidneys, when you get too much, when your kidneys are overwhelmed with toxins, you start putting toxins throughout the body. They get in the tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. And it weakens and it comes out of whack. And then you have problems. And when that happens, like I say, it twists your tailbone, because the whole structure gets twisted, and your tailbone will get twisted to the side, your low back hurts, so, and all that is, because of toxins. It's the same thing. And then when you're twisted like that, your hips aren't in line, and when your hips aren't in line, your knees aren't in line. How many people get new hips and new knees? And those are all symptoms. Now, once you get to the point where they're torn up so bad, you wait till it's hurting you all the time, it's a medical problem. But if we can catch it when it's just a little bit of discomfort, we can go on and correct a lot of that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Those are symptoms. Those are symptoms. Okay, men, well, not men, everybody, they'll get chest pain. And it's funny, because they say, well, you get a chest pain, you got to go to the doctor and see if there's something wrong with your heart. Well, it's not quite like that. The chest pain is normally a twist in the ribs. The ribs aren't aligned properly in the front. And well, it's also in the back. I catch that in the back too. That's when I find it in the back, I know you're going to have problems in the front also. So, and it's what's happening is the ribs will twist a little bit, so they're not aligned properly, and you'll get a cramp, and you'll go like that. Okay, that's right. And there's nothing wrong with your heart. It's like I say, it's a cramp, misaligned rib, and so don't be misled thinking there's something wrong with your heart. Now, talking about the heart. There is something wrong with the heart. When the blood pressure goes up or the blood pressure goes down, you've had the same blood pressure. I hate to say normal, but like I say, you've had basically the same blood pressure, and then now all of a sudden it's starting to go up or starting to come down. Okay, more than likely, we talked about the twisted pelvis. Okay, that twisted pelvis, it means the toxins are in the kidneys and it's backing up your urine. You're also going to find one of your lungs, if not both, but your lungs will be holding fluid. And also the pericardium. The pericardium is the sac around the heart, and it's going to be filled with fluid. So now your heart is not just pumping, it's pushing the fluid to pump. And that's going to either raise your blood pressure or lower your blood pressure. So blood pressure problems is a symptom, and it can be taken care of once you get the fluid start coming out. Now, if you don't get it taken care of, in time, this continuous stress on your heart, we're going to have heart problems. That's a medical problem. But it could be taken care of early on with the proper care. And that's you taking responsibility. And that's right back with the Hoi Chi. The Hoi Chi, I do my work, but what I do is I teach you what's going on in your body and how you can control the different parts of your body. So even heart problems could be taken care of if caught early on, and it's going to help you no matter what. If you get tired, people say, that's what happened to me. I say, I got tired at about 52. What happened is I got tired. And then so I'd go over underneath the shade tree and I'd have me a Coca-Cola, and I'd be thinking, hey, I'll be okay. And then I'd get some rest, and then I can go back and do some work. And then, but after a little bit of time went by, in a way of months, because that was the starting of my downhill trend. And so I'd go underneath the shade tree and I'd have a Coke, and then I'd go home and I'd rest up, and the next day I could do my work. And that's what happens. I just got tired. And what that was too much toxins. My whole body was, like I say, overwhelmed with toxins. And I say, I learned all this by working on people. I was doing the Hoi Chi right about 50 years old, I guess. I started 50, 51, I started doing Hoi Chi. And so I started learning by, I'd ask people, the healthy people and the sickly people. When I checked something wrong in their colon, I asked them what they eat. And a lot of it they have in common. And in the way of having bad habits or good habits. So, and like I say, the one thing I did learn out of all this that is 100% accurate is toxins is what makes bad health. The lack of toxins improves health. That is a fact. And so the whole idea on health is how to put in less toxins in and more toxins out. And when that happens, you're going to see improvement in health. And all that is based on habits. Good habits or bad habits. It depends on your health. Bad health, bad habits. Good health, good habits. If you wait too long, then it's going to turn into a medical problem. But right now, there's a lot of good things you can do to take care of your body, to make your body strong and healthy for the future. But you have to do it now. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.